In the last lesson, we learned about different operations that we can do with Python. So far, most of the operations we've looked at combine two variables that are the same single data type. So what happens when we want to combine different types of data into one expression? Let's look at an example. Here we're storing the value of pi as a string. So what happens when we add pi to an integer? Uh-oh. This error tells us that Python doesn't have a defined behavior for adding strings and integers. In order to make this operation work, we need to tell Python exactly what data types we want to use. To do this, we use something called typecasting. Python has built-in typecasting functions that use the name of the type we want to convert our variable to. So to make our previous operation work, we can convert the variable pi to a float, like this. Let's look at one more example. Here we're going to store LeBron James's jersey number as an integer. Now let's try using that integer when creating a fact about LeBron James that's stored as a string. Without typecasting, Python throws an error to tell us that both parts of the expression must be a string. Using the string typecasting function, we can tell Python before it evaluates the expression what type each variable needs to be. Before you jump into practicing typecasting yourself, let's look at one other error you might encounter. Here, we're going to try to cast a string, 3, as an integer. This error can look a little bit cryptic, but what Python is telling us is that it doesn't have a defined behavior for converting a string to an integer. Not every data type can convert to every other type, so try testing out which combinations work and which will give you this value error. In the next activity, you can practice fixing type errors in your own code using these type conversion functions.